Hello friends I made this for. Welcome to the new studio space. The summer solstice is coming up, so today is a little collective reading around the solstice. Now the summer solstice is not just the start of summer, it's also the start, the initiator of Capricorn's counterpoint, Cancer. So in winter, we have the winter solstice, which is initiated by Capricorn, and I like to look at them as the complements of one another. The complement to Capricorn, and I care about Capricorn because I am one, is Cancer. My best friend's a Cancer. I am a Cancer rising. Cancer season is fucking tight. So with Cancer season, there's a big, and even in the past, I have used the term mothering energy. I think nurturer is a much better word for it. Nurturing can be anyone, of course. We're trying to be more inclusive with our language, or at least I am, so that's why I use that term. Nurturer. Carer of the home and the hearth. A little bit is connected to that for me. So if you're a homebody sort of Cancer, that vibe of wanting to get your space filled in a way that makes you feel really good, I feel you, Boo Bear. I truly, truly do. Today we're going to be using the Apparition Spirit Speak Tarot deck. For this reading, it's going to be, of course, a generalized reading for the collective, and it's going to be really focused on how do we expand our idea of home. I feel like astrologically there's a lot going on that can make us feel not at home in our bodies, make us maybe feel not at home just in where we are, how we communicate. Things might be feeling a little off. So how can we expand the idea of home? Because we've also been coming out of quarantine, right? Depending on where you're at, we are starting to get out of our shell, as it were. We're not wearing masks in every place that we're going into, depending on where you are. I am in Philadelphia, PA, and the mask mandate was just totally... So businesses that want to have a mask mandate continue in their stores or place of work, they're welcome to do that, but most places are not doing that anymore. And so this can be a really uncertain time for certain people. This might feel like we're going back to normal too soon. For some people, it's not soon enough. For some people, maybe you haven't gotten the vaccine, you're a little anxious. Like, there's a lot of reasons to feel anxiety or trying to find safety as we go through this year, this season, and try to be more expansive. And by expansive, I mean maybe travel more. Maybe not feel like we have to stay inside as much. So with that said, let's get into it. Let's do... How can we expand our idea of home, the solstice? How can we expand this idea of home? So I got the star. This came out reversed, but I'm not going to read reversals because this is a more generalized reading. I was doing a private reading, which of course links down below if you want to work with me privately. I would be doing a reversal here, but I'm not. We can expand our definition of home this season by allowing certain ideas of or expectations around home to fall away. There's certain ideas and certain identities around home and our connection to that are not serving us. And that, to me, is what's coming up with the Star card. This card, to me, specifically from this deck, also represents dealing with some shadow work. So allowing old baggage to not carry with us. So last summer, of course, was very indoors, very disconnected from the people around us. So there might be certain levels of fear or anxiousness that we have to really work on to release so that we can find home wherever we go. That might mean letting certain people go with it. I sometimes feel like with the star, at least in my own heart and mind, that the star is giving us a big reason to put faith in ourselves and kind of release certain people who we might feel have our best interests in mind, but they just don't. They might have been supportive, but we need to maybe put our support in something outside of individuals and into more of like a higher power. So to me, the star is in this reading, this collective reading, and of course it's vague because it's collective, the star represents finding home within ourselves is where we can expand the idea of home. How do we feel safe? Who makes us feel safe? Really tapping into what doesn't serve us and letting it go with lots of compassion, right? It's okay that last summer was a fucking wreck. There's nothing wrong with the summer that was last year being what it was so that we could learn certain things, achieve certain things, do certain things. But we don't necessarily have to keep on holding on to everything that we got out of that summer. This summer, we're expanding the idea of home by coming to ourselves and going, I am home. Home is wherever I am. Home is wherever I deem safe. So that is the star. How are we expanding the concept of home? To go with that, I want to pull a card for how can we release those things that are keeping us from coming home to ourselves? Two of Pentacles. How can we release what's keeping us from coming home to ourselves? Finding balance where there is none. And seeing things how they truly are. Being balanced within ourselves can be a very vague lesson, but balance, finding what our equilibrium is, in whatever capacity that means. Imbalance is what keeps us from coming home to ourselves. Yeah, like that seems like an obvious one. So coming back to our equilibrium, that means nourishing ourselves in a way that might not be nourishing to everyone else around us. We might have to learn our comfort zone is not where other people's comfort zones are. And that's okay. I think that's really important, especially when it comes to boundaries. So for me, seeing this card in relationship to the star, we need to really ground in what we're releasing as like what does not serve my balance specifically, and recognizing that what is balanced for us is not going to be balanced for everyone else. We have to kind of stand our own ground when it comes to what is the thing that brings us the most joy, what is the thing that brings us the most illumination, and what is the thing that brings us the most nourishment is not going to be the same for everyone else. So acknowledging that, embracing that, that's going to be really important for, I think, a lot of us this summer. Where is our comfort zone? No one else's matters. If we can't come home to ourselves and feel comfortable and safe in our own bodies, then we are not being true to ourselves, and we can't be at home here. So the big lesson with Two of Pentacles in relationship to this is how are we nourishing ourselves holistically, spiritually, mentally, creatively? It's all like, where do we find balance where others maybe are not going to help us out there? It's also going to be one of those things where maybe everyone else is doing something a certain way, but it's just not comfortable for you. So you have to do what's comfortable for you and like stand in those boundaries. So last card I'm going to pull for this collective reading is, speaking of nourishment, what will nourish us this summer solstice and keep us nourished through these warm days? What's going to help keep us nurtured, nourished, and feeling good? Ace of Pentacles. So this one, to me, we went from 2 to aces, and that is finding what feels physically good. What, I mentioned spiritually nourishing. This card is kind of doubling down on the physicality of it. So what might be nourishing to your body, whether that's movement, fruit and good food, nourishing food, taking care of your vessel in whatever capacity that means. So we see all the fruit here. Maybe it is like eating healthy and really committing to that. Maybe it's just dancing every day and feeling yourself illuminate sweat and energy so that you have that connection to your physical self that makes you feel really good in your body. That could be a really big part of coming home to ourselves, right? Is just feeling good in our body in whatever way that means. So that's what this means to me. We're finding our balance by getting back to our physical space. This could also mean, this could be related to your job. Maybe how you make money needs to change so that you're feeling more balanced. So again, this is a collective reading, so I'm going to be very vague, but this could be how you nurture yourself physically. It could be the job that you're in and how you're making money. It could be how much time you're spending with family and whether or not that's comfortable or nurturing for you. And of course, all of this is about coming home to yourself, right? Expanding our idea of home so that we feel home with who we are. And that means finding our balance in a way that might be more connected to our physical realm. So that is my reading for this solstice. Please leave me a comment down below if you felt that this video was helpful, you connected with this reading. Is there anything that specifically you're doing for your body right now? Let me know in the comments down below. You can find me on Instagram at subnormalchild. I just launched some merch. But of course, links to everything down below. If you want to connect with me for a reading, definitely hit me up. Website also linked there. But in case I don't see you before the solstice, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And my next video I'll be putting out soon about the full moon in Capricorn. Bye!